Hello everyone, today I'm gonna tell you all about Sambusa. Sambusa is the star of each Ramadan table and it's one of our favorite cravings. So the different comes in the naming. Some people call it Sambusa, some people call it Sambusak, or whatever it is. It's such a very yummy appetizer, especially if we make it in a healthier way. Today I'm gonna share with you two very super yummy recipes. Okay, so today I'm gonna share with you one sambusa with the meat, and then we're gonna add some vegetables to it. Of course, some cheese to give it this richness. And the other recipe will be with spinach, and then we're gonna add some cream and a hint of extra cheese, salt, and black pepper. We're not gonna add so many spices. And I'm gonna show you two ways to prepare your sambusa, with puff pastry or with the regular sambusa dough. We will use the air fryer and we're gonna use the oven, and it will be crunchy, juicy, and super healthy. So today for the two recipes, we're gonna do one with minced beef and the other one with spinach. We're adding different flavors to each recipe, but the main and most important ingredient is the onion. We always start each recipe with an onion. So to chop the onion, we keep the roots to hold the entire thing, and then we're gonna slice it all the way to the end without cutting through the end. Then we do, to make it finely sliced, we can do this, and then we go with, tears are coming. So now we're gonna start by heating the two pans, because we're gonna sweat the onion at the same time. This way you can create two different recipes and save time. So we're starting with the meat recipe. It doesn't have to be super hot, because I want the onion to be cooking slowly and gradually until it brings the nice color. It has to be light golden, not darker than that, otherwise it will be a bit bitter and it will change the taste of the recipe and the meat. It takes around 2 minutes. You can always reduce the heat if you feel that it's getting darker in a faster way. And once it's a bit transparent, that's when we make sure that the heat is high, and that's when we add the minced beef. We are just pressing on the meat to make sure that we are separating the pieces. So now after I cooked the beef with the onion, and I got all the steam on my face, I'm gonna season it with some salt and black pepper, and then we're gonna add any vegetable we want. Today I chose to use the zucchini. Now I'm gonna reduce the heat. So almost medium to low. Like if you have an electric gas, you can keep it on 4, that would be perfect. And I'm gonna add the zucchini. I like to shred it rather than cutting it into small pieces. So we just remove the top piece after we wash the zucchini, of course. And then I'm gonna shred it and add it to the dish. After adding the zucchini to the dish, we're gonna add the last ingredient, which is the cream cheese. And we mix everything together. The second recipe is one of my favorite recipes. And no matter what, no matter how many times I make it, even if you don't like spinach, I promise, you're gonna love this recipe. So we're starting with the remaining of the onions. I'm using as well olive oil. And I'm gonna start sweating the onion. Then we're gonna add the frozen spinach. It's very important to reduce the water or the liquids that are in the spinach. So whenever I'm cooking those recipes, it has to be done with a non-stick pan. And I'm gonna add immediately a half cup of cream. It's gonna add this nice taste. Now we keep it on low heat to boil for another 5 minutes. We're gonna season it with salt and black pepper. So now after almost 5 minutes, the spinach is cooked and it's nicely seasoned with just salt and black pepper. And the cream is completely gone. The cream is is mixed with the spinach. You can't add extra cream because then it's not gonna work with the pastry. It's gonna make it soggy, and it's not, you know what I mean. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna be crunchy. So once there's no more cream, we're gonna turn it off. let the two mixes cool a bit before we start filling it. But before doing this, I'm gonna add the cheese to the spinach. Then we're gonna let it cool for around 10 minutes before filling the pastry. So 10 minutes, it has to cool down, otherwise we can't do any filling, nothing. So we have the spinach with cheese and cream ready. We have the meat with the zucchini and cream cheese ready. We have two different pastries, the puff pastry and the sambusa pastry. And I'm gonna show you two ways how to wrap it and how to prepare it. We're gonna use the oven and the air fryer. And working with pastry, we need to dust the surface. Then we add our square, and we can roll it a bit. It can fit the filling. So once we prepare all the filling and we finish the filling of the pastry, we're gonna just make a small cut. This is very important. So the vapes that are coming from the spinach is not gonna make the dough moist. So now once I'm done with the spinach pie or the spinach sambusa or the spinach, I don't know, we have to bake it in the right oven tray. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you how you can actually choose the right tray for the right recipe. When you go to the market, you would find like 20, 30 different baking tray. There's the baking tray, there's the grilling tray, there's the tray for roasting, there's a tray for baking, there's a tray for brownies. Usually there's always some information on each tray and each kind. So for an example, here we have this tray that has like small holes in it. That's gonna help the moist go out of the tray, and it's gonna keep the recipe very, very, very crispy. So we call it the crispy oven tray. This is gonna make the pastry super crispy, and it won't be soggy, and it won't change anything about the flavor. And now I'm gonna prepare the egg wash. The egg wash is basically one egg with a bit of milk. We whisk it together, and we need to brush any puff pastry to give it this nice golden color. Now the oven is preheated to 200 degrees, and it takes around 10-15 minutes for it to be baked. Okay, now for our second recipe, the meat with zucchini with cream cheese. We're gonna start doing the real sambusa. This is like the sambusa that we usually see on the table, either filled with cheese or meat. So whenever it's time for iftar, everyone is like, can I have one meat? Can I have one cheese? Can I have one meat? But today we're having meat with cheese and some vegetables, and I'm gonna show you how you can do sambusa at home in a very easy way. First thing, we need to prepare the glue. So here I'm gonna add 2 cups of water, 1 spoon of flour, and then we mix it together. So now we're gonna start by doing a small triangle. We fold it to the other side, and then a third time. Now we have like a pocket, as you can see. Make sure it's completely sealed, and we're gonna use some of the mix we prepared. Don't go with a big spoon, so start with a bit so it can fill the entire thing, and then we can squeeze it to make sure that the filling is actually not in one place. Then we're gonna cover this side, and now we have the last triangle. We're gonna add some of the glue we have, and voila. 100 sambusa later, you are ready for Ramadan. The best invention ever is actually frying the food without deep frying it. We're gonna add a bit of vegetable oil. So now 15 minutes for the meat sambusa to be done in the air fryer, 15 minutes for the spinach pie to be baked in the oven. I'm gonna come back to you with the end result, and I'm sure if you try it, you're gonna love it.